Hi everyone, today I have a very special guest who I came across him in my Facebook community and I'm very excited to speak with him today. Please welcome Tobin Slaven here from Books of Expert. Tobin Slaven is a founder of bookofexpert.com and salesmap.me. He helped grow one of his clients into a national nonprofit and from pre-revenue to over 20 multi-million in annual operating budget. I mean, that's amazing already. His 4 years of marketing methodology has proven to move cold contracts into closed deals more effectively than industry standard lead funnels. Thank you so much for joining Get Unstuck Radio today, Tori.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me on. This is exciting. And listen, I love talking about the 4 years of marketing because honestly, it kind of changed my world. We had a bunch of wins in my back. I've been a digital marketer for a dozen years now, and you mentioned one of the big ones, but consistency, reliability, predictability, like that's what matters these days. If you don't have that in your business, then you always feel like you're on a roller coaster. So I just want to share what we're doing and what we're seeing in the marketplace. It is different. The market is changing. And if you don't shift with that, you're going to be sort of left out. And so this is really important because we know the folks, the business owners, the entrepreneurs, they're the ones like yourself, they're changing the world. We need you.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. I have two core values here that we support everyone to build a business that support their lifestyle, not the other way around. And another thing would be that I want to help them get unstuck wherever they are in the journey. That's why I'm having this podcast. So I hope everyone who listening to this, you will definitely get unstuck at some certain point about relationship building and how can you be more confident as an expert today. So Tobin, let's go back to you. How do you start your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, so I was in education before. To be honest, I was an educator. I worked first at the high school or the secondary level, and then later I was a college basketball coach. I was an administrator in college. It wasn't until my 30s that I entered the business space. But the same enjoyment that I had as an athlete, the competition of being a coach and winning games and all that, I find the same fun and play in the business space. It's challenging, it's fast moving. You're only as good as what you're producing. You can't, rest, you have a win and you can't just call yourself a winner for the rest of your life. You got to continue to be out there on the cutting edge. So I love entrepreneurs. And, again, I love what you're doing with getting unstuck because that's what it feels like when you're an entrepreneur. You run into challenges and obstacles and it feels like you're stuck. But these are the people that are making the difference in the world. The change that we need, it's not going to come from the governments and the big organizational level. It's going to come from the individuals who are making things happen and they're willing to put themselves out there.
Yeah, 100%. And did you start from like the SaaS company, like what you are doing currently, the software that help people, or you starting from other industry first?
Mm-hmm. So I actually have done several different things. I have done the SaaS. I did a startup years ago. I had a content marketing agency. So I've done a couple different things. What we're focused on right now is really the service side, what they call the high ticket programs. We tend to work with authors, speakers, advisors, coaches, and consultants. We call them expert-based businesses, but it's when people are a subject matter expert and they're able to bring that knowledge as thought leaders into a way that commands higher pricing, and they get paid more because they're making a big impact in the lives of the people they work with, their clients.
Yeah, and how do you define expert then?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked that question because we don't try to be the judge and jury of who an expert is. It's not this credential or this certification. We don't feel that that's our role. Ultimately, the being an expert is defined by the person that you're helping. So even if you're only 6 inches or a step ahead of the person, if you have found a solution that will positively impact their life and help them move forward, you are their expert. So for our community at Book of Experts, again, we're finding people that they're getting results for their clients. That's very important to us. And we want to connect this community, and we have experts at all levels. We have some folks that are, getting started in the space, meaning their business model is less mature, but they have the expertise. And then we have 7- and 8-figure business owners as well. And we see people all the way in between.
Yeah, we are entrepreneur, right? Everything we have to solve the problem, because if not, we wouldn't survive in this entrepreneur journey for sure.
Yeah, if it's not solving a problem or a need or addressing a pain, if it's just talk and it sounds great in theory, it's like that is the real difference maker with entrepreneurs. It is practical. It's apply. There's application, and the knowledge is great, but it's extra. It's a bonus extra. It's the implementation, the execution, and actually making a positive change that really matters.
Yeah, 100%. So, what makes you build the Book of Expert? What inspired you?
Yeah, so we saw an issue. So we actually have 2 businesses, and the other one we're focused on building sales teams for the same group of people, thought leaders, influencers. Usually they tend to be bigger businesses, so they already have a team assembled, but they need to build out their sales team. And so we've been working with these folks for a while, and what we were seeing in the marketplace is these really brilliant people, folks who are just, they have their zone of genius, but they feel like they're a best kept secret. They're like, I know I can do this good work, but I don't know where my next client is going to come from. And I don't even see them on the radar. So how do you do your best work? How do you operate in your zone of genius if you're worried about paying your bills? It was that challenge in realizing that if we gather all the experts together, and you can't be an expert in all things, that defies definition, right? But if you can be an expert in what you do best, and you can have all these other experts around you that you can call upon, it's really interesting. And it's also, we're stronger together. And this is what addresses whether people are hiring a service provider for what they need next, or they're creating a strategic alliance or sharing content. It's the value of this community in Book of Experts, that it's introductions and boosting visibility that we're focused on.
When you mentioned about expert having a problem of finding new clients, so what do you think was wrong in the world with digital marketing right now?
Yeah, that is a big question. There is a huge issue in our space right now, because what happens, a lot of businesses go out there and say, I need to make business happen. Like we all have to pay our bills. There has to be steady revenue coming into the business, or we're in a fight for survival. And so when they feel that way, when they recognize that need, many times they go into what I call numbers mode. They start thinking about people as numbers. And if I talk to 1,000 people, and I have a sales funnel, 3 new clients are going to drop out of the bottom of that funnel. And I'm going to be happy, because 3 new clients means I'm living a good life. I have money coming in, my bills are paid plus some. What they don't recognize, or what they sometimes choose to ignore, is that yes, you might get 3 clients that way, but you might ruin your reputation with the other 997, because in our space, I do a lot of work on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great environment right now for B2B conversations, business to business conversations. On LinkedIn, we call them leg humpers. They're the people who show up. They don't care who you are. They've identified you as one of those numbers on their spreadsheet, and they just start sending messages to you. Hey, I want to connect. And then you read this really long message about who they are and how great they are. And at the bottom, there's a link that says, hey, do you want to jump, book here on my calendar? We can have a conversation. It's just a terrible experience. There's no heart-to-heart human connection in it. They're just seeing you as a number. And this is what's wrong with the digital marketing space. We've become so data-focused, data-driven, looking at the numbers and trying to make our numbers happen, that we forget about the people, the actual faces and names behind those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you totally draw the right scenario. I experience that every single day. So do you, I bet. So it's been, quite a conflict right now experiencing with LinkedIn. So I just not really on that platform for a while, because I don't really find the value of it currently because of that. So how do you solve this problem then?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a brief overview of the 4 gears of marketing, because I think it will make sense for people. Fourth gear, I'm actually going to start with fourth gear because even though that's not how we drive our cars, that is how most people try to run their businesses. Fourth gear is your sales funnel. It's automation. It is paid traffic. It's all the things that you hear about in the marketing world. When you get fourth gear right, life is good. Like it's like cruising down the interstate, the top is down, like you're getting someplace and you're getting there quickly. And what that looks like in the marketing world is you pay $1 and you get, $3 or $5 back. And every single one of us would say, sign me up. I'll do that all day long. I'll give you $1, you give me 5, let's keep trading. I love this game. The problem is that most people buy these training programs, they hire service providers to do fourth gear strategies. It's the right strategy. It's the wrong time. They don't have the foundation in place. So what ends up happening is they're paying $5 out and they're not getting any back. And it's a terrible experience. I had this happen to me. It wasn't that anybody did anything wrong, but we didn't have all the information. So when you put third gear, second gear, first gear in place before, you can start shifting through the gears. And by the time you get to fourth gear, again, life is good. You're cruising on the interstate. So what we say is your car's in the parking lot, put it in first gear. First gear will get you out of the parking lot. If you try to drive in fourth gear in the parking lot, you will stall the car. You're not going anywhere. So first gear, shift to second gear. That will take you down the side street. Third gear, you can start to pick up speed. That's the on-ramp. Then you get on the interstate, shift into fourth gear. And so basically, first gear is we want to create conversations. We actually want to talk to people just like you and I are now. A real conversation with another real person. And they will tell you what they want to buy. We all love to buy, but we hate it when someone sells stuff. So we have a buying facilitation call where someone tells us, this is what would really help me. They use their words. And by the way, this is most of what I do every day is helping people understand how to have really great first gear conversations. Second gear is content marketing. And that's where you start to share some of your content, not to attract people. That's what most people think that content marketing is. I'm going to attract these people who will buy from me. That's like planting seeds. That works, but it might take you 20 years to get the fruit from that tree. What I want to do is share content so I have better conversations in first gear, right? They work together. And then third gear is all about collaboration. These are your strategic partners, your joint venture partners, and how to work with others in a way that you have that predictability, that consistency, that steady flow of new introductions and potential business coming in. And that's what we do at Book of Experts. Book of Experts really is a toolkit, again, for introductions and boosting your visibility with other experts out there.
It's mind-blowing, and I totally understand what you say, like you're speaking from my heart, something like that, because many of my clients, so my system would be systemize, automate, and delegate, right, as the operation strategist. So they actually don't want to do the systemize part, but they want to jump into the automation right away, and they just blame on me when things not work, because I actually have to go back for the systemize that they quite not really enjoy doing it, not really enjoy to explain themselves and get clarity on that. But they want to automate right now. And yeah, as you say, when they invest something that is not the right timing, it's crash. Sorry to say that.
It's not wrong. The strategies are not wrong, or the desire to go fast is not wrong. It's just putting the right strategy in at the right time. And again, I love the car methodology, because if you've driven a standard shift car where you're actually shifting the gears, you know that you can drive that vehicle more effectively. You can build momentum in first gear, which allows second gear to run better. And by the way, there's a reverse gear as well. I didn't really share that, but you can actually sell and enroll new clients even if you don't have an offer. You can kind of back your way into those conversations. So that's something that we do as well. When people are figuring out, what should I be selling? Like, what is the irresistible offer that people will jump at and say, oh, tell me more about that? And that's really the key, is when you get people leaning in and saying, wow, Mutita, that's really interesting. How do you do that? If you can get that interest, you're moving in the right direction. But if you're introducing yourself, and this is this is a big thing we do at Book of Experts. We call it the stress test of your business. But if you introduce yourself and people say, interesting, and then they turn to go move away into another conversation, your business is going to die because you're not going to get that regular lifeblood of new introductions and new prospects coming into your business. It's just you essentially, people don't get you. They don't understand what you do and why they should care. So that's the first thing we're going to do is get that right, and everything else in marketing starts moving more easily after that.
Yeah, I hope everyone that listening right now and to here take notes though. Take a very deep notes because it's very thought bomb right here. And I think if you really implement what Tobin's walk us through today, you can get unstuck at many part of your marketing and sales funnel. I don't want to call it funnel, but yeah, it is somehow. So Tobin, in case anyone want to follow you or work with you, how can they reach out to you then?
So I do exactly what we teach people to do. I converse. So you can find me on LinkedIn or any of the social media channels, but just by my first name and then my last name. It's not a common name, so I have that for across all the channels, Tobin Slaven. And let's converse a little bit. Mention that you heard me from the podcast. If there was something that spoke to you that you liked, or if you have a question, you can just reach out because I am conversing with people. To me, this is like going to the gym. Every single day, I'm having conversations because I want a really strong, vibrant engine in my sales and marketing. And that means having a strong first gear, second gear, third gear, and fourth gear. We're doing all of them. That is the ultimate goal. It's not, you can build a $500,000 business with first gear alone. I've seen people do it. You can do that. But if you've ever driven a car and you never shift out of first gear, you're making that engine work really hard. And so we want to be more efficient and we want to get you there faster. And that means driving the car like a race car.
Yeah, let's get your business more efficient and check it out at Book of Expert, everyone. The show note will be at the helpyougetunstuck.com, so check it out. Thank you so much, Tobin, for joining Get Unstuck Radio today.
No, I love joining. I appreciate you for inviting me. And Book of Experts feels like my baby. My co-founders and I were putting a lot of heart and soul into it. We're having fun doing it, and we invite you guys to come. That's bookofexperts.com. Come see what we're doing, and if it feels right for you, let's get you connected with one of the memberships there.
Amazing. Check it out, everyone.
Hey, thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed the show, you can subscribe here or here. And this is the previous episode. Check it out. See you next time.